Welcome to Technology for People in a Hurry. Today, we're diving into Imaginable by Jane McGonigal, a book that redefines what games can do for us. For most people, games are just a distraction, a fun way to pass the time. But what if they're more than that? What if games could help us face the future, prepare for the unimaginable, and take control in an unpredictable world? Here's the thing. Jane McGonigal isn't just a game designer. She's a trailblazer. She was the first person in the world to earn a PhD studying the impact of games on our lives. For nearly 2 decades, she's been proving that games aren't just entertaining, they're transformative. Today, she's teaching at Stanford, giving TED Talks, and inspiring millions through her work in game design. If you've followed her career, you might know her earlier books. Reality is Broken showed us how games can unlock our best qualities: creativity, optimism, determination, empathy, and a drive to contribute to something greater. Then came Super Better, which took those ideas even further, showing how game-based strategies can help us overcome real-life challenges and build resilience. Now, with Imaginable, McGonigal turns her focus to the future. The question she's tackling is urgent. How do we prepare for a world that's changing faster than ever? How do we stay calm, confident, and adaptable when the ground keeps shifting beneath us? Her answer? Games. Imaginable challenges us to use future simulation games to expand our minds, envision possibilities, and cultivate the confidence to face uncertainty. These games aren't just about brainstorming what might happen. They're about training your brain to think creatively, stay flexible, and feel ready for anything. Let's face it, the last few years have shown us how quickly the unimaginable can become real. A global pandemic, technological revolutions, social movements reshaping our world. These weren't just unexpected, they were wake-up calls. McGonigal's message is clear: the future is coming fast, and we need to be ready. So today, we're going to explore how these future games work, why they matter, and how they can change the way we think about the world and our place in it. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with a fascinating exercise from Imaginable. Imagine yourself 10 years in the future. Sounds simple, right? But trust me, this isn't just casual daydreaming. It's a mental workout that could reshape how you see your future. So, why 10 years? Why not 5 or 20? Because 10 years is the sweet spot. It's long enough for significant, meaningful changes to unfold, both in your life and in the world around you. Think about where you were 10 years ago. What did your life look like? The people, the places, your priorities, how much has shifted since then? A decade is transformative. Zoom out to a societal level, and it's even wilder. In 1991, only 16 million people used the internet, and most were scientists or academics. Fast forward to 2001, 1 billion users. By 2007, the iPhone launched, and by 2017, smartphones were everywhere. Zoom? Just an idea in 2011, but indispensable by 2021. A lot can change in 10 years, which is why it's the perfect window to imagine what's next. Here's where it gets exciting. When you project 10 years ahead, something shifts. Instead of imagining your future from a first-person view, like you're looking through your own eyes, you start to see yourself from the outside, like watching a documentary about your life. This shift to a third-person perspective is a game-changer for creativity and clarity. So, how do you do it? How do you imagine your future in a way that feels vivid and real? The secret is detail. Think of it like building a movie about your future. Every scene, every prop, every emotion matters. Let's start small. Picture yourself waking up tomorrow. Easy, right? What's the room like? What wakes you up? Who's next to you? What's the first thing you do? Now take that level of detail and project it 10 years ahead. Here's how to break it down. When imagining your future, focus on 3 dimensions. 1. Yourself. What do you look like? Where are you? Who's with you? 2. Your emotions. How do you feel? What's driving you? What do you need? 3. Your environment. What's different? What's the new normal? Take a minute to picture it. Seriously, 1 minute. Imagine waking up 10 years from now. Let the scene unfold in your mind. Then, write it down. Capture every detail like you're directing a film about your life. You're the star, the screenwriter, and the director. Here's the science. This isn't just fantasy. It's episodic future thinking, or EFT, a process that activates 11 different regions in your brain. Your hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and even your amygdala light up. It's like mental time travel. You're pre-experiencing your future so vividly that your brain starts wiring itself for that reality, making it feel tangible. Think of it like a lucid dream. Your brain is creating a future you can almost touch, see, and feel. This isn't just imagining, it's preparation. You're building confidence and mentally paving the path to what's next. Why is imagining your future so powerful? Because it's the ultimate tool for starting with the end in mind. Think about it. Every great achievement, from skyscrapers to moon landings, started with a clear vision. The trick is creating that vision with incredible detail. Not just thinking about the future, but living it in your mind, like a lucid dream. Picture this: planning for rain tomorrow. There's a big difference between vaguely thinking, I might get wet, and imagining raindrops on your skin, the clothes you're wearing, who you're with, and whether you're laughing or running for cover. That level of detail? It's what you need when imagining your life 10 years from now. Not just an idea, a scene, a feeling, a full sensory experience. And here's where it gets exciting. This exercise doesn't just help you plan, it helps you discover. Jane McGonigal, the author of Imaginable, experienced this firsthand. Back in 2008, she ran a future simulation game where participants created resumes for their lives 10 years ahead. When she filled out her own profile, she wrote about living with her husband and a daughter named Pepper. At the time, she and her husband weren't even considering kids. But through that exercise, she uncovered a hidden desire to become a mother. 7 years later, after a challenging journey, she and her husband welcomed twin daughters. That simple act of imagining her future brought her deepest wish into focus. We all have those buried dreams, things we don't even realize we want. When you sketch your future in vivid detail, those desires emerge, finding their place in the story you're creating. So, when should you start? Right now. And don't just do it once. Make it a habit. Treat it like mental time travel, a skill that gets sharper with practice. Do it every 6 months, every month, or even daily for 10 days straight. The more you practice, the greater the benefits. And let's talk about those benefits. First, it's a major boost for mental health. Studies show that episodic future thinking, or EFT, makes people more optimistic and confident. It helps those prone to depression or anxiety rewrite their mental stories. Depressed individuals often imagine dull, lifeless futures, while anxious people fixate on vivid worst-case scenarios. EFT shifts the narrative. It's like taking a creativity pill for your mind, building richer, more positive futures to focus on. Second, EFT is a behavior change superpower. Whether you're trying to eat healthier, exercise more, save money, or quit a bad habit, EFT bridges the gap between effort now and rewards later. The more vividly you see those rewards, the easier it is to work for them today. Over time, this kind of mental training even builds habits that stick. And then there's creativity. EFT isn't just about planning, it's a catalyst for innovation. Research shows that imagining yourself a year or even a decade into the future sparks creative thinking. The further out you project, the more your brain lights up, making connections and generating fresh ideas. That's why researchers often use EFT to prime people for breakthroughs, even outside the context of future thinking. What about kids? Can they do this too? Absolutely. Even young children can practice EFT. Ask them what they're looking forward to tomorrow, next weekend, or on their birthday. Encourage them to draw or write their answers and add vivid details. It's a fun, imaginative exercise that builds a lifelong skill. What happens when you flip the script on everything you take for granted? Enter Turning the World Upside Down, a game designed to challenge assumptions, spark creativity, and prepare you for a future you've never imagined. Here's how it works. Start with a topic, something everyday, like food, work, or education. Then, list a few simple facts about the present. These should be obvious truths, the kind of things you don't even question because they're just how things are. 3 or 10 will do. You don't need to hit 100 unless you're feeling ambitious. Now, take those facts and flip them. Rewrite them so the opposite is true. Imagine a world 10 years from now where these wild scenarios are reality. Let's use shoes as an example. Here are 3 everyday truths. 1. Shoes aren't free, you have to buy them. 2. Most people own more than one pair. 3. People don't wear shoes to bed. Pretty straightforward, right? But now, let's flip them. In our upside-down future. 1. All shoes are free. 2. Most people own only one pair. 3. People sleep with their shoes on. At first, this sounds absurd. But here's the twist. Your job is to figure out how these flipped realities might actually happen. What trends, technologies, or changes today could lead to these scenarios in a decade? Take free shoes, for example. Companies already give away fitness trackers to collect health data. What if governments or health insurers started offering smart shoes for free, tracking your steps, monitoring your heart rate, and even predicting illness? The trade-off? Your health data becomes currency. Now, owning only one pair of shoes. Picture shoes made from materials that can change color or style on demand. Or maybe these shoes are so advanced, think wearable smartphones, that manufacturing them becomes resource-intensive and regulations limit everyone to one pair with trade-ins for replacements. And sleeping in shoes? It's not so far-fetched if extreme weather becomes the norm. Imagine a future where you need to be evacuation ready at all times, or shoes that provide self-cleaning, built-in warmth, or massage functions, so comfortable you'd never want to take them off. Here's where the game gets really fun. Think about how these flipped scenarios would feel in real life. What if you received a free pair of smart shoes that reported your health data to your doctor or insurance provider? Would you wear them? Or if an emergency alert told you to sleep with your shoes on for a week, would you do it? Which pair would you choose? How would you react? These conversations aren't just entertaining, they're brain training. They help you think creatively about scenarios you've never faced and prepare you to adapt. And the best part? There's no rush. Spend a few days gathering real-world clues that support your flipped ideas. Look at emerging technologies, shifting trends, or cultural changes. You might just glimpse the future. Here's a true story from the author's students. One played this game with her teenage daughter, focusing on school. They imagined a future where students couldn't attend classes, join clubs, or collaborate in person, where peer interaction was impossible. It felt extreme at the time, but then the pandemic hit. Suddenly, their imagined world became reality, and they were ready with strategies to stay connected while physically apart. Imagine waking up tomorrow in a completely transformed world. No warning, no time to prepare. How would you adapt? Welcome to Living in the Future for 10 Days, a mental training game that boosts resilience and sharpens your ability to face the unimaginable. Here's how it all began. Back in 2008, Jane McGonigal created a large-scale simulation game called Superstruct. One of the scenarios in that game involved a fictional respiratory virus spreading globally. Sound familiar? Fast forward to January 2020, people started emailing her, saying, "Hey, didn't you run a game about a pandemic? What do you think about what's happening now?" Nearly everything the players imagined in 2008 mirrored the real-world responses during COVID-19. And the players? They weren't panicked. They said, "I rehearsed this already 10 years ago." That's the power of future simulation. It's not about predicting the future. It's about preparing your mind so when the unexpected happens, you're ready. You can think clearly, act quickly, and stay calm. So, how do you play this game? It's simple. You live in the future for 10 days. The time frame? 10 years ahead. You're stepping into a world that's completely transformed, and your imagination sets the rules. To start, choose one of these 4 scenarios. First, there's a world of allergies. Imagine a virus called alpha-gal syndrome has infected 1/8 of the global population. You can't eat meat or dairy, and even inhaling the scent of a burger could send you to the hospital. Leather furniture? Out! Cheese pizza? Forget it. What's life like when food and furniture could be deadly? Next, we have the empathy network. Imagine 1 billion people join a social platform called Feel That. It's not about likes or shares, it's about feeling someone else's emotions in real time. Picture scrolling through today's trending feelings and actually experiencing the happiness, anger, or calm of another person. Would you join, or would this level of connection feel overwhelming? How about zero waste living? In this future, there's no such thing as garbage. Trash cans are history. Everything you use is reused, recycled, or returned. Want to throw something away? It'll cost you $500 for a small bag. People prioritize experiences over possessions. Could you adapt to this way of life? Finally, there's perpetual winter. Imagine Earth plunges into a decade-long winter. Every day is cold. Warmth becomes a luxury. How would you adjust to this world where survival depends on ingenuity and resilience? Pick a scenario and step into that world. But before you dive in, let's pack your bag for the future. What are you bringing? First, pack your skills. What are you great at? Cooking, coding, storytelling, whatever it is, that's your toolkit for navigating the future. Next, bring your knowledge and passions. What lights you up? What do you know better than most people? These could become your superpowers in this new reality. Then, think about your community. Who's got your back? Your neighbors, friends, and online groups are your allies in this future. Finally, pack your values. What drives you? Is it helping others, pushing boundaries, or creating joy? Your values will guide your decisions. Now, as you imagine this future, ask yourself 3 key questions. 1. In this world, what do people want and need most? 2. What kind of person drives in this scenario? 3. How can you use your unique strengths to help others? Let's say you choose zero waste living. What do people need? Creativity, ways to reuse and recycle everything. Who thrives? Problem solvers who embrace simplicity. And how do you help? Maybe you create a community exchange for items people no longer need. This isn't just a mental game. It builds real-world skills. Studies show simulating future scenarios boosts creativity, reduces anxiety, and helps you make better decisions. It trains your brain in learned helpfulness, the belief that you can improve situations, even in tough times. And that wraps up today's journey into Imaginable. But before we part ways, let's take a moment to reflect. This isn't just about predicting what's ahead, it's about actively shaping the future you want to live in. Here's what the book reminds us. Be bold in your ideas, but stay flexible enough to adapt. Empathize with your future self, treat them like a close friend you're setting up for success. And don't underestimate the simple but transformative power of journaling. Writing down your thoughts, fears, and dreams is like leaving breadcrumbs for the person you're becoming. So here's your challenge. Craft your own future story. Picture yourself as the hero, navigating unexpected twists and turns with courage and creativity. And remember, the future isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you have the power to create. Thanks for joining today's journey. Like, subscribe, and share your future vision in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, stay imaginative, and always keep asking, what if?